Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Painted. We are live again. Sorry for the late start. I had a few technical difficulties, including the fact that I really seemed to want to set a pair of jeans on fire because as I threw it across the table, I threw it across my candle. No danger. We fixed it. It's all good. So today we are going to be exploring our fabric foils again, foils adhesives again. I like to repeat some things sometimes because the next time through things are in a place where people get them a little better than maybe they got them the first time. Not a problem. Sometimes it just takes a couple times, and I like to show different techniques and different tips as to what's going on. If you see in the back, you see a little head popping around. My friend Camilla is here, my assistant, working, and now my dog is running around, and our front door is open because we're open for business. So there could be a little bit of stuff going on. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. So we're going to jump in pretty quickly. I'm just going to set up my iPad again so that I can see you. And let me take a second. And here we go. I'll get in there. This is always such a challenge. You know, you think you got to get in there fast, no problem, and then it takes a minute to get organized. So I need to get back to the page. And here we go. I can see myself, and I got my volume up again because I'm never smart enough to turn the volume down before I start. And we're good. Okay. So if you noticed recently, we have several different foil adhesives. Now, our standard Artsyville foil adhesive is amazing. Camilla's been working with it all day. Hi, Charlie. Nice to see you here. She's been working with it all day. If you look back there, she is scrubbing with foils. Yes, she's hiding behind the garbage can because the garbage can is helping keep the dog from running out the back door. I don't have a dog gate for the back door yet, so you're going to see a little bit of body floating around in there. But what we're working with today are the fabric foils. I know you saw me working with them the other day on some napkins and some table runners, but today I'm doing my own clothes. And they were my own jeans that I tried to set on fire. So we're working with several different products, all from Deco, all products I carry. So if you're looking for these products, including the foils, go to paintedstudio.com. And once again, I ask everybody to share. Apparently we're allowed to say the word again. The S word is not forbidden anymore. So please keep doing that with the videos. Visit my website, sign up for emails and email notifications because you never know when I'm going to do a pop-up sale just for my email members. So here we go. First, we're going to start with our Deco Foil Transfer Gel. Now this stuff is funky looking. It is pasty and thick, and it's designed to be applied heavily to work. I tried it on burlap and it just soaked through it, and it didn't give me a good release. So I wasn't okay with that product. And it says on the back, tape stencil and apply craft Deco Foil Transfer Gel using across a stencil using a palette knife or a similar tool. Remove excess gel by gently pulling the knife across the surface and let dry for an hour or until completely clear. Cover stencil with a transfer sheet placed inside. Let me see how it's going. And it says run it through a laminator. Okay, I don't have a laminator. It's called an iron. So we are going to be using this, and I'm going to angle this up and down so you can see me. I managed to tighten it up so that the camera doesn't wiggle, but it's still a little bit of an awkward. I am on the hunt for a new arm here. I'm not really happy with how this is going. This one works. All right. I think I got that centered. So if you look over here, I applied it, and it's not completely transparent right here and right here. I actually had it up, my air conditioner's blowing. I had it sitting up in front of the air conditioner. But we're gonna work on these parts after I apply this and we talk about applications of other products. So here we go. I got my little stencil stuck to the pockets. These are an old pair of jeans. Quite frankly, I'm not sure my less than younger butt will fit into them anymore. So we're going to use, you know, gift card, old room, hotel room key, easy, cheap, free tools. Okay, and I'm just dipping in here a little bit. And if I was concerned about being able to see this, you might look on there and see I've got a little bit of pigment that came off of something. I could pigment this so I could see it better, like maybe on a white fabric. So I'm going to scrape this on through. And I'm trying to get an even layer. And this is a product that is happier when you apply it thicker. If you apply it too thinly, it doesn't release anything. So this is a product that wants a little, you know, a little bit of thickness. Stenciling it through there. All right, let me see if I can see your comment. Randy, nice to see you. I could never put that on the butt area of pants. I get enough stares. Ashley, you're so funny. Honey, I don't even know if these will fit me, so I'm not worrying about somebody looking at my butt because I'm not sure my butt will go in it, but pockets are always a good place to check stuff. I know when Jennifer Ferguson does her stencils, she likes to use leopard prints and stuff like that on her, well, on her derriere. And she's done a bunch of pockets on her jeans, and she's done her cowboy boots. I don't happen to own an old pair of cowboy boots that I can find right now, otherwise I'd be foiling those too. All right, so I'm gonna scrape it through the whole thing. And again, this is not a super flat surface, so it's not real easy to do. And let me pull this back, and I probably, because I didn't tape off, I may have a little bleed. This is not bleed. That's where I had crap on my pants pocket. Quite honestly, that's where I had crap on my pants pocket. So, and what you didn't see I did on the side there is I put the stencil, I have plastic on here, and I put the stencil down and just scraped all the extra product off so I can put it back in the jar, and then I can wash the stencils later. So we need to let that dry until it's totally clear, like this pocket is going to be. So first what I'm going to do is apply the different adhesives for you all to see, and then I am going to show you the different application methods or the different releases with the foil sizes. Okay, so now here's another pair of pants. These are the ones I actually tried to set on fire. Okay. Right at the hip, so I'm going to have to do a little patch job right there because I can't wear those in public. But meanwhile, I did the legs. So I did the back of the legs this morning, and look how pretty that is. That is such a beautiful pattern and a beautiful release, nice and shimmery. This is the Bailey Flowers foil. So I'm going to show you how we got there. All right, so you can see I have a stencil taped on and adhered. I used some spray adhesive. This is just 3M, or no, this actually is Elmer's spray adhesive that I put a little bit on the back, tacked it down to the jeans, and then taped up here so that I try to avoid getting too much overspray, because we are going to use the Deco Foil Spray Fusible. It's adhesive. This is cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Tamara, nice to see you. Nice to see everybody here. So you have to shake the tar out of this. You think it's shaken enough? It's not, because if you don't shake it enough, you don't get good adhesion. And on this stencil, this one is called, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. This is called Elizabeth's Lace. I carry this stencil. By the way, you can ignore my broken fingernails and stuff. I've been smashing boxes. I tried to get them fixed yesterday. That didn't happen. So I've got an appointment today, but meanwhile, I got a real beat up manicure. So I'm spraying, shaking. And then, don't spray like this, don't spray like that, spray down. Because if you spray on an angle, it will spray under the stencil because fabric's a little challenging. And this stuff will coat your stencils. So the best way to get them clean that I have found, I personally take the stencil, throw it in warm water and some dish detergent and maybe some Simple Green in the sink and let them soak. And it sort of creates a wet release on here. And so see how it builds up, especially like right in here. You can see there's kind of a ridge. So you really need to keep these clean. And then I take it to a flat surface and scrub it. So now you see, this is it. And where the adhesive is sprayed lighter, I am going to have less of a foil release. And meanwhile, I need to let that dry 10 minutes before I can foil it. This is too fresh. It has to set up for a little while. Ooh, and I'm getting all kinds of pigments in my jars because I had a slightly dirty stick. Oh well, won't hurt anything I'm doing. All right, I am going to move us over to the iron so that we can iron all these patterns on, and I have other things preset for that. And yeah, it's getting exciting around here. Sorry for my hands, I'm left-handed, it always goes right in front of the lens. That's what happens when you're a lefty. You do everything in reverse. So we're going now over to my iron. I've had my iron preheating all day because I've been using it nonstop. And I'm sorry, you're just getting my chin here. All right, let's get the camera in. Let's see which way this goes. Oops, you're gonna get my hands again. There we go. All right, now you got me again. So I'm at the other side of my table. I'm in front of my iron, and I have used another stencil on another pair of jeans. The stencil is called Maya's Rose, and I will angle down, but I'm going to go grab my foil first. All right, so I used the spray fusible foil adhesive, and it is amazing. So I'm going to use, on my jeans, I'm going to use the pink tie-dye foil. Older irons you can iron directly on top. Hey Maddie, nice to see you. On older irons you can iron right on top of the foil adhesive. I find my newer iron, which was, God love me, my son's from college that never left the box in 4 years. Not that I thought it was, I was just sort of hoping he might pick up an iron. Would it work on leggings? Yes, it will work on leggings. Remember, stretchy fabric is a little harder, so more likely when you pull it on, the foil pattern might crack a little bit. So let me angle down, and you can see where my working is. And why did my leg on this one go bad? There we go. And I think you can see me. Okay, there we go. So I've got a little portable ironing board here, again, for my son from college. This stencil pattern is called Maya's Rose. I carry it. You can buy it from me, no problem. And I carry the pink foil. So like I was saying before, I find my brand new iron set at the highest heat, or even at cotton. If I set it to cotton or linen, it's a little hot on here. So what I do is I take a little paper towels. They worked together before. And I just hold. Now this is not fast. You gotta sit here and hold. Sometimes I shoot steam through. Not because, and my iron one, yep, my iron shut down. So give it a second. I sometimes use a little steam, not because the steam penetrates the plastic and that helps the release. I use the steam because steam is hot and it helps penetrate the paper towel, and then it goes through. So I can do a little of this, and it gets me a little extra heat on there. And I also happen to like doing this on an ironing board other than a dead flat surface because there's a little bit of cushion and it allows for me to push a little harder, and it actually creates a better release for me when I'm doing this. So we're just going to sit here, and you got to hold this in place for a while. This is not something that goes super fast. Ashley, you would love this. This is not hard. I mean, think about, you know, doing, those of us who are old enough to remember, doing iron-on decals in the 70s and 80s when we put stickers, did iron-on stickers on our shirt and stuff. It's a little bit of the similar idea. So we're going to do this, and we will do the fish butt on one side because the other side is going to be too wet to do it for too long. I was surprised to see those jeans in my drawer, and I haven't been able to fit into those in a long time. I'm not sure how they got put in my drawer instead of in my wish to wear pile. Those would have been the good ones to set on fire because the other ones I actually want to wear. My tailor's gonna laugh at me. She's gonna be like, really? You set your pants on fire? Okay, let's see how we're doing here. As you can see, it kind of crinkles and puckers a little bit, and it tells me where I'm sticking. I roll it back a little bit. I can see where it's stuck, where it hasn't. And I can always go back over this with a fresh piece of foil when I'm done. You cannot use a piece that's already been ironed, a piece of foil that's already been treated with the heat like this, and go back over and expect it to release. It doesn't work that way. Once you've hit this with the iron, it changes the way this releases, and so it doesn't, you can't just turn around and use it again. It has to be fresh foil. So let me roll back here. I got a little spot up there I got to work on. The other thing is you can't just peel this off while it's hot. You have to wait until it cools. And la-di-da. I love sitting here talking while I'm ironing. This is babble time. This is also a great time for anybody to ask me any questions because I can look at you and see the questions and things. Thanks, Dave. Hey, David, nice to see you. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the most successful way. Now, people have said that if they throw it on a piece of cold marble or a piece of cold glass or something like that, it helps drop the temperature right away. Pretty much I'm going to throw these over my air conditioner. I have an air conditioner unit sitting right behind me, and that's where I'm going to throw it. But I'm checking to see if I've missed any of the spray adhesive. I don't want to miss anything because I don't think you want to sit here and watch me iron these twice. La-di-da-da-da-da-da. Alright, let's see. Where are we at? There's needs a little more right over there. And when you come to a seam, make sure that you don't just press on top of the seam, that you get the edge of your iron butt up against the seam, otherwise you're going to have a little weird gap. This is especially true with denim because those seams are so big, so you can see a seam right there. So if I needed to, I'd shove my iron right up against this seam to make sure I got pattern going all the way over. Not that that's an issue on this specific transfer. All right. I think I got all of that ironed. Now I'm going to stick this on the air conditioner. Give me a second. Oh, that didn't work. All right. You might hear a little rattling, flapping noise in the background. Now, the other day, I was on a road trip. I stopped at Gap Outlet, like I often do, and got myself one of my Million Studio t-shirts. And I thought, what fun would this be to do a pattern on here? So the pattern that I've stenciled on, and is called Branching Out. Again, my stencil. Okay, so I put that stencil on, I carry that stencil, and we are going to use Ramsey's Rose Silver. I love this pattern. I love the roses in it as the pattern itself, but what I also love is that when you use it in a release and an all over, you just see all these interesting highs and lows on the metals, and they're great. So I sprayed the adhesive through the stencil on my t-shirt. Pull it back here. And then I'm going to put my foil over it. I may have been a little heavy-handed with this because I've never done a t-shirt before. It's a little, the knits can be a little bit of a challenge. Okay. Let's see. You're a spray girl. Well, you know what? Different glues have different, these different adhesives have different, sorry, I dropped something, different benefits. Like if I needed to build up something heavy on a piece of clothing, I wanted additional texture from a background, the gel is ideal. If I want to spray, if I want a text, you know, an all over kind of pattern like I'm doing here, you're a darn toot and I use the spray. But we also have one that I haven't shown you yet. It's called a scribble writer. And I'm sure you might have seen it in the last video I did with foil adhesives. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of time just for me to find all of this because I kind of did a winding pattern up my shirt, so I don't know where all the pattern is. And I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to show you how those work as well. But right now, I got to iron everything. And ironing is not like my favorite thing to do to begin with. As you can see, I'll let it sit on there for a second. I'm going to push this ease back a little bit. I hate ironing. I do it well because my mother taught me to do it well, but that doesn't mean it's my favorite thing. And let me show you what I mean by getting too hot. When I put this on here, and it won't hurt this when I do it, but if it's too hot, I feel like it's grabbing at the foil. It's kind of wanting to stick. So if I put the paper towel over it, I can, and then pop a little steam, I get a lot of heat going through. And it adheres better. And I'm not worrying about screwing up my iron. Because, you know, I may have turned this into a studio iron, but it is a brand new iron and I'd rather not screw it up right away. Little late to the party, but I'm loving what I'm saying. Oh, thank you. This is such a fun one. It really is. I love doing stuff. Now I do these, you can do all these techniques I'm showing you on napkins, on pillows, you know, pillow covers, on tablecloths, on table runners, on whatever clothes you have, on a bag you could get an iron on. I have a couple canvas bags. I did little flat tote bags with it. It's really super, super easy to use. Now I'm checking to make sure I've gotten all of my adhesive spots. And this takes a while. I know this isn't exciting, but this takes a while. And then everything has to cool before you can pull the foil off. And I know everybody wants to pull the foil off and go, oh my God, wow, I'd love to too, but if I do it, I'm gonna ruin it. So let me see if I've got this all around here, missed any spots. There's a couple of spots there. Let me go make sure I get all of the pattern ironed on. I'm gonna be really bummed if I screw this up, because this happens to be a brand new t-shirt. I liked it to be cute so I can actually wear it. But then again, if I make the mistakes, you learn from my mistakes. Right. So that now has to go to the side and cool. Drink that over another chair. We're gonna get, there we go, we're gonna do the jeans that I just sprayed a few minutes ago, which is so pretty. I love, God, I'm really enjoying doing this because it's so cute. And then here's the foil for it, which is the Bailey flowers. And I will do the front of both legs. I'm just doing this one today so that you can all see how it works. Look how pretty that Bailey's flowers is. Oh, so romantic. And for anybody who wonders, I always try to tape back my foil rolls so they don't go rolling everywhere. You're going to hear a lot of kids. We have an ice cream store next door. It's warm weather out. Kids are getting ice cream, so it may be a little loud. All right. Thank you, everybody. Isn't it a pretty foil? I just love this foil. Once again, I'm asking everybody to share, share, share. It helps grow my audience and gives me the opportunity to do more fun things. So any shares you can give me, I'd appreciate. And again, shopping for all of these products are available at paintedstudio.com. Just go to the shop section and you'll see all the foils. You'll see all the adhesives. And you will see probably sooner or later pictures of these, because I got to add those to the web page too, or the website. I love how this comes out. I'm just going to keep pushing here until it's all out, and then we're going to bring the gel over and work on the little fishy things. And I don't think, from what I remember, that the gel requires quite so much heat and pressure. I just got to keep pushing. If you'll notice, I'm not just resting my hand, I'm pushing, because heat and pressure are what help release these foils with fusible foil adhesive. Got a little bit I need to get here. And I just roll the foils back just to see if I've not gotten anything stuck to something. And if I feel in for my seams, I'm making sure I hit all of my, up against all of my seams so that it doesn't get a skip in the pattern there. I have never ironed jeans in my life. Well, that's probably not true. I think I ironed jeans in high school. So ironing a pair of jeans now is very confusing to me. You know, I come from now, I just hang them out and let them dry on their own and hope for the best. I used to be much more of an ironer when I was younger. I got very anxious if my clothes weren't perfectly pressed. Obviously, I've moved past that stage. Right, let's see. Let's see over here. Yep, I got that corner I still gotta get. Now, people ask me how far this goes, and I honestly can't tell you that answer. I tend to be heavy-handed when I spray, so I get less, mileage out of a can. Jennifer seems to spray lighter and get really great release, better than, and still doesn't go through a full can the way I do. It's something about me. I tend to be heavy-handed. I know it. All right, so that's it here. You can see it's stuck on there, and that's going to cool off too. The last thing we're going to do is grab the fish, which I have to reach over here for. And you see, this is still drying. This is pretty well dry. So let me grab, let's see, I got this. Here we go. Tried to use this on something else, and it didn't. I didn't get a release from it because I was doing it wrong. But this is this great Flower Power foil. And so I'm going to stick that on the pocket. I'm going to do like I did before, and then I'm going to press. Do, 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 do. Let's see if I can have glittery pink fish on the butt of my jeans. Now this piece will cover both pockets because I haven't used that much space on it, so I have plenty of foil to do with just this one pocket. All right, let's see if I'm gluing everything down. I think I am. Okay. I know it's not exciting to watch somebody iron, but it is part of the process. And okay, so this is what I didn't want to happen. I just screwed up my iron. Somehow I managed to get plastic all over it. And I know what happened here. My iron fell down on the paper towel that was on my table plastic. And then I put the wrong side of the paper plastic down on the foil. So I make messes, that's okay. We're done with the iron for today. I'll figure out how to clean it off later. I'm okay with that. We'll survive. All right, now I'm going to take my phone and we're going to go and start working on that other pair of jeans that I had showed you before, the ones that's been draped all over the air conditioner. All righty, now give me a second to get this in where it belongs and aiming down. Whoop, that's not what happened. I dropped the phone because I'm clever that way. Alrighty, so let me get this up. And there you go, you can see down here. So this is the one I did earlier. This is the one I just did. Now it's nice and cool so I can peel it off. Look at how beautiful that release is. Oh my God. That is just stunning. Oh, and you can see it took the release beautifully off the foil. And if I had needed to go in and touch up, I just take some of the unironed. You can tell because the iron part has sort of a wrinkly pucker to it, and the unironed is new and shiny and perfectly smooth, just like you can see on this side. And now what we're going to do, because I missed a few spots on this one, I decided I'm going to use our third foil adhesive product and use the Deco Scribble Writers. Look how cute this stuff is. This comes with a writer tip on top. You know, just like you've seen with other paint products, and all I'm going to do is sit down here and outline. And it takes me a little while to get into my groove here. I usually outline pretty lightly. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll move this over so it's a better centering. Okay, so I'm just going to write with very fine lines on this. And I'm outlining my shape. And yeah, it may not be perfect, but I'll survive. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to pass on some of my favorite tricks and tips for doing stuff. I'm left-handed, and I'm used to, you know, when we write letters, we write the same way everybody else does. But when we're doing projects like this, I always start at the opposite side, like this, so that my hand doesn't drag through the glue. Because I've ruined many a wonderful project by dragging my hand through it. And I'm keeping these lines really fine because I'm going to outline all of these fun little details on here. And this, you don't even have to use the iron to put it on. As a matter of fact, I don't recommend it because it kind of squishes it down. This is giving you a little bit of three-dimensional texture. Hey Debbie, nice to see you. Ashley, you don't spray, you spray wrinkle release. Well, honey, you better learn to, or you don't iron. This is one you have to iron for, no matter what, other than this scribble writing stuff. All right. So you can see how I'm doing this. And this is the kind of stuff I actually love to do. I love this little fussy work. I find it extremely relaxing. And I'm not outlining heavily because A, it takes twice as long to dry. B, it looks gloppy if I outline too heavily, and I don't like that look. So I'm just a little bit of pressure to squeeze product out of the bottle. And a light line. Now you can line as heavily as you want. I just don't like to line that heavily because I want this to represent as delicate as the pattern itself. And this pattern is Maya's Rose. Again, I carry it on our website, paintedstudio.com. You can buy them, I think they're $9.95 if my memory serves. All of the furniture stencils are about the same price. And then, so you can see I'm going from right to left to fill in the pattern and top to bottom at the same time, because then my hands don't get in it. I don't accidentally smear it across. And since I'm still working over this, I will wait to get some more pattern on the sides. And I even go over the places that had a little bit of skip with the foil, where it didn't necessarily release really well, because then that continues to define the pattern. Now I don't, this lining this like this is going to take me a good 15-20 minutes, and you don't have to sit here and watch me do that. I'll save that for when I'm done. But what I'm also going to do is then show you how it releases, because I already did this on the other leg. You don't need an iron, you don't need a special tool. Let me just get this one little bit of the pattern done. And we'll move on to the other leg. Okay. So I'm going to put that away, but it's very cool how this works. And it's just little tiny fussy work that you're going to do. And you got to be careful when you move the legs around so it dries and doesn't do bad things like I almost made it do. And I'm going to use this pretty pink foil. Let me center this thing so you can see it. I have to do everything in reverse of what I'm showing on my camera. See if I can get it so it's get the majority of the pattern in there so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Pretty good. Pretty good. And I'm going to take a little piece of foil, using this lovely light pink foil. I left my scissors across the way, so yes, I did just tear that with my teeth. Set that over there, and then I'm going to take this foil, and I'm doing this with my fingers, ever so lightly. And you see it's starting to grab in here. And if I was worried, I'd just go back over it with my fingernails a little bit. And we're going to see how easy this releases. I need a little more scrubbing with my fingers. And I do this with everything. I check my patterns to make sure I'm actually getting release. I always do this with my fingers. I could take, you know, tongue depressor or a popsicle stick and do this, but I've always used my fingers because then I can feel it. So you see how pretty that is? Now I've got that little outline starting to show. There you go, now you can see it a little. I've got my outline starting to show up in here. Again, I did it super light because I didn't want it to be too crazy. I just wanted to enhance that pattern. I'm just going scratching, scratching, scratching with my fingernails. I'm sure there are other ways to do this. I could probably use a scrubber. I have one right here. We'll give it a shot, but generally I don't find the scrub brush works quite as well on fabric foils, adhesives like this. I think my fingernail does better if I'm able to get more pressure. Like this is the beginning of it, and actually I need to go back over it with my fingers. Let's see. Oh yeah. Look how nice that is. I'm getting all that little bit of detail in there in this pretty pink color. See, it's taking it up really nicely. And go back in where I think it looks a little thin, put a little more in. I can go in right there, my fingernail, the one that's not broken, in here. And I'll do it again down all over here. See? I think a stiffer brush would work. My scrub brushes are really, my newer ones are really freaking soft. I don't know why the scrub brushes suddenly got wimpy. But you can see the patterns coming off on the back, right in here. Okay, gosh, I just love how this looks. Oh yeah, it's coming out really cute. Bottom here. Now when you do any of these things, pay attention to the wash and care instructions that they give you. This one says, let's see, find the English one. Hand wash or machine wash, and then dry flat, and do not iron. Why? Because you'll get all this stuff all over the bottom of your iron. Just like I was trying to avoid and didn't manage to do. And let's see, let's get over in here. Yeah, it's just giving a little extra detail to this pattern. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Don't do this and let it dry overnight and then come back to try to do it the next day. I've found that it doesn't like to release when you do that. Again, I try to do things and make the mistakes so you don't have to. I did find, however, that if it didn't release because it dried too long, if I put the iron on it, then it would release. But it does smush the texture down. So that's part of why I don't want to do the iron. All right, let's get this going a little bit. There are the kids outside. Oh gosh, it's so cute. So you can see all these little outlines, it's very delicate. And that's what'll happen on the other leg as well. I'm loving this. I'm looking to see. Now, if anybody has any questions, again, please don't hesitate to ask. I will tell you now, none of these foil adhesives will want you to re-iron over them. They will not like the dryer. This is for stuff you can either hang dry or not wash a lot. Okay, I think I'm getting to the end of it now. I just keep checking to see where I've released, and it gets a little harder to see as I'm doing it because there is so much released. There. And the pink colors are very close, so I knew that going in. That was just kind of the reason I chose this pink. Okay, so I've got this whole thing released. Yeah, I'll probably need to go back in maybe a little later today and catch any missed spots on here, because if it's still grabbing foil, it means it's still got available adhesive. See, I can find those little clear spots that don't have any adhesive released on it, so I go over here like this, and boom, I got foil adhered to it. Adhesed. That actually is a word, but it's not really a great one. So I am so loving how this is coming out. I just got a couple little spots, I think, over here that I missed earlier. Like I said, I keep thinking I'm getting to the end of it, and then I find another spot. And then I'm going to release the foil patterns on the other pieces that we did before that I ironed, so you can see how the release goes. And there we go, we're good on that. I'm gonna go grab those other clothes. You can keep looking at this pretty pattern. All right, so my last experiment with the gel was an abysmal failure, so let's hope I'm doing better this way. And it did. Oh, look how cute that is. Can you see my little metallic fishies? Look how cute that is in the sparkle. Oh, that came out just right. It didn't really release right there because that wasn't actually set up well. So I may wait, go back and try to iron it again tomorrow. And I'm gonna set these pockets aside to dry. So there's still a little more there. Hey, I'm looking for any questions. Oh my gosh. Let me move that out of the way. Now, here is the Bailey's. There's how it looked on the other leg. Here's the release we're doing now. And look how gorgeous. Oh, God. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, now I am going to have to fix these jeans because they're so cute. I want to wear them. So I'm going to set those to the side. I haven't finished the other side of the front leg. And the last thing we have to do is release the t-shirt, which I accidentally did a little, and look how cool this is. Yes! Look at that! Oh my gosh, the roses just left this perfect, this took a perfect release, left a great pattern on there. Now I got its killer t-shirt to wear. Oh, I'm so happy with this. All right, everybody. Me and my gifted camera work. All right, you don't need to be looking at my face that close. My good. There we go. I know, I'm sorry for the fingers in here. It's the lefty in me. So, now you have seen all of our fabric foil adhesives. One more time, they are the Deco Foil Transfer Gel, which is what I did the fish on the back of the pockets. That is meant to be built up heavier, allowed to dry clear, and then you iron it on. Then we used the Deco Foil Fusible Adhesive Spray. It is meant to be sprayed on through a stencil or through something else, allowed to set up for 15-20 minutes, and to be ironed over with a fusible foil that's friendly for ironing. The third product we used is our little Deco Foil liquid adhesive that is in the scribble writer. And that's what I outlined the stencil with. So you have all these wonderful, fun options to use. I know it wasn't fun watching me iron, but you got great release here so that you were able to see a lot of really good looking product and a lot of really good releases here. I can't tell you how thrilled I am with how well the releases went, because the first time I did it, the first time you all watched me, I didn't have quite so much success. I've learned a few things, so there is a little learning curve with these products, but they are so much fun. Now, if I've missed any of your questions, I will go back, I will answer them in the thread underneath the posting live, and I want everybody to have a great day. And yes, we're doing another live tomorrow. This is a busy live week, so we are going to do more lives tomorrow. I'll let you know what the topic is then. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.